I'm on mute now.
Okay. It's on. It's on. You can see.
Okay, we'll probably go ahead and get started for the sake of time and making sure that we are respectful of everyone's time tonight, and we don't want to waste anyone's time. I am Mrs. Kelly, and I am one of the assistant principals at Day Creek, and I am so excited that all of you could make it. I know if you are like me, you have tons of questions about the technology that your students are using, especially as a newcoming or an incoming sixth grader. So we want to be able to help explain all those things for you. The one thing I will ask is that you all mute yourselves in the room so that the only people that we hear are the presenters. If you don't have yours on mute and there's any type of background noise, it can automatically go to the sounds that are in your background instead of the presenter. So out of respect for everyone, let's just stay on mute. If you have questions, there are 4 of us that are staff members at the school on this Zoom meeting. So if you have questions, if you want to type them in the chat, you are more than welcome to do that. And because there's only one presenting, and then there's 3 of us that will be watching the chat as well as the waiting room. And I want to go ahead and introduce the other members of the staff that are here with me. One member of the staff that will be presenting tonight is Michelle Burr. She is our school counselor. We have 6th grade language arts teacher, Mrs. Learmont, and we have 6th grade math teacher, Mrs. Inga Bretson. So I want to thank them for donating their time and helping us out with this technology night for our family. Mrs. Burr, do you want to say anything?
No, we're actually going to go ahead and get started with Ms. Learmont's going to get started for us today. And then at the end of the presentation, I will go over Aries, Parent Portal, as well as Remind, and then Google Classroom. So Ms. Learmont, would you like to go ahead and get started?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So just a couple of reminders for our students. If you are unfamiliar, we do have Instagram accounts. We have the DCIS Coyotes. We also have my class has a personal account for Miss Learmont DCIS. You can also check with your homeroom or your switch teacher to see if they have an account that you can follow. But this is a great way for our families to keep up with important reminders, any changes that may come up with the schedule. I know that we're posting some different content to our streams, as well as on the Twitter account for DCIS Coyotes for the school, just to keep you involved in a additional way. And then we have the website here, and then we also, the teachers here in 6th grade, we really recommend that our families and our students download the Google Classroom app if you are going to be using a mobile device at all. So what I'll be sharing today is specific to StudySync. That is our ELA curriculum. So all aspects of English language arts are embedded within our curriculum. We cover reading comprehension, both of literature and nonfiction. We also cover different writing aspects. The access to StudySync does work best on an Edawanda device. So a school Chromebook that allows students to access StudySync and ConnectEd without any other additional accounts causing issues. That's something that we've seen with a couple of our students, that they are using a personal device. And if you're logged into a personal account on that device and attempting to access Etiwanda documents or Etiwanda portals, such as StudySync, you can encounter problems. We see this as also an issue when it comes to Google Drive, documents, slides, things of that nature, because if there's another account signed in, you can have the different accounts that won't speak to each other. So we do recommend accessing StudySync through an Etiwanda device. Hopefully you do have one. If not, if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out to your teachers, your homeroom, and check with them about possibly checking one out. So assignments through StudySync will be pushed out through the StudySync portal. Those are not accessible through Google Classroom, but your teachers will let you know through Google Classroom that you can access them in StudySync. So 2 different places that you'll need to access in order to get to those assignments. So this is the path. This is just a quick, about a 1.5 minute video of the student path, how students will access their StudySync assignments. And there's no sound, so don't worry if you can't hear anything. It's just the path. So the first thing when you're on an Etiwanda device is just to select that house up at the top left, and that will take us to the Clever homepage. So this Clever landing page is different than if you have accessed StudySync in the past, perhaps with an older sibling or a different student coming through Day Creek and using StudySync. Clever is new this year, just a couple of weeks, and this is the landing page that they will see. It may look a little bit different because there are different apps available, and students have the ability to favorite the apps that they use the most. So this little heart on the Connect Ed, the second option underneath textbooks, if you select that heart, it will move that app to the top of your screen and it will become a favorite. So it'll be more easily accessible to students. So Connect Ed will be the first button you select after you're in the Clever page. Try that one more time. So after the first button, the Connect Ed button, you actually have to select Connect Ed one more time. So you may have to scroll down a little bit. You're looking for Connect Ed and it's a purple square. So Connect Ed twice. And then you will see a couple of options. This is the same path to get to the Connect Ed option for your math textbook. But you're looking for, if you're looking for StudySync, you're looking for the 4 circles. One's like a golden and then 3 are white. So you're going to select that image of the front of our textbook. And then one more time, you have to go in and find that image with the 4 circles. And here you have to select the picture, not the text. Once you select that, then you will come into the actual StudySync application. So this is the StudySync homepage. So when you first log in, you'll see any assignments that are assigned, but if there's nothing there and you need to access a past assignment, you'll select the binder. So the binder at the top, anytime you submit an assignment and you need to go back and take a look, you can go through the binder path. The library is also an option for students. Perhaps you'd like to read a different text excerpt. You can use the library to go and you can search for any of the other titles that are available through StudySync. So that's the student pathway to get into StudySync. And then I've created a document that has the path, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get out of this here, that has the pathway in an easy, on one-page document. So you can see the first button that you'll need to look for is that Clever. You want to be on the Clever homepage. Then you're looking for the first Connect Ed option. That takes you to the StudySync and the Connect Ed portal. Connect Ed one more time. Then you need this image to launch StudySync. And then the image here, and this is where it's important, and I highlighted it here, you have to select the front of the textbook cover. If you select the text that is not a hyperlink, it won't move you into the next page. That's when you'll land at the StudySync homepage. And then here's where you can access any current assignments, the past assignments, and then also the ability to search for text through the library there. So I'm going to put this link into our chat so that you can maybe copy and paste it, open it into a different window so you can have it for future reference. If you ever encounter a challenge trying to access StudySync assignments, you'll have this document. Mrs. Kelly or Ms. Burr, do we have any questions for StudySync?
We had one question that asked, what's the password to join on my computer? But the explanation was that the student must be logged into their Google account using their district email and password.
Yes.
And then you must sync. There'll be a place where it says sync. You have to sync that account to that computer. That's how you would be able to see it.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and Mrs. Ingebretson, are you ready to go ahead?
I'm ready.
All right, thank you. And thank
All right,
you, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the one of the sixth grade math teachers. So I'm going to show you how to get to the Connected Math program. And it's very similar to how Ms. Lermont described. On this slide, there is a document that will go into detail what I'm going to describe, and I will paste that in the chat when I'm done. So we can go to the next slide. Oh, I could click it, huh? So again, like Ms. Lermont said, we need to make sure we're logged into your student's Google School account, and you can sync your page, and you can do that by checking the icon in the right-hand corner to make sure it's the right account. Once you're logged in, that house button will take you to the Etiwanda Useful Links page. And then from here, you're going to click on that All Student Programs button. Go ahead. When you click that, you're going to get an option to either sign into Google or through Clever, and they work simultaneously together. And again, you have to make sure you're signed into the student's Google account. From there, you'll get the option to go to textbooks, and you're going to click on that Connect Ed tab. Go ahead. And again, you'll have to connect Ed again. So you'll click on the purple icon, and from there, you'll get the options for your math textbook or the StudySync. And at this point, you would choose math. And I just said, yay, you did it. Lots of steps to get there. So you can click on the textbook button or the launch button. Go ahead. And then this is the first screen that shows up. So you know that you've made it. Go ahead and go to the next screen. Because on this screen, there are a lot of things to look at. One of them is the menu bar, which I will show you in just a minute. We have here, you can choose what chapter and what lesson you need to look at. We have the textbook online as well. We have many resources that we'll talk about. And to the right, you'll see homework or assignments. So if you have any homework or assignments or tests that were assigned through Connected, you go ahead and click. This menu bar that you see in the top right-hand corner, it will give you a drop-down menu so you can get into all the resources available, homework that was assigned, the home button to return. We even have a glossary so we can find our vocabulary words. Go ahead. So the next couple slides just kind of go through icons that you would see in the textbook and what they're for. So this icon is the online textbook, so we can click on that, and it's exactly what the students have in their actual textbook. Go ahead. Homework. This again is where you'll see your homework assignments, quizzes, or tests. They'll be posted here with due dates. Next. We have the ABC icon, which is the glossary icon, so it'll take you to the glossary. Next. We have a tutor icon. So at the bottom, you can see a small picture of what was in the textbook, and I've circled the icon tutor, and that means that you can click on that and you will be given a video that walks you through the concept. Go ahead. Tools. Tools are like hands-on manipulatives, but these are all digital tools that they are able to access for the material. We have videos even attached. So for example, on this real world link problem, there's a video icon. That means that they can watch a video based on the problem and how it's going to be solved. Self-check quizzes. This would be after you learn about a lesson, there's some guided practice, and we can take a self-check quiz. That's normally about 5 questions. It's self-graded, so the students, when they complete it, they would be able to see what they got correct, if they missed anything, and what the correct answer would be. There's also an e-help, which is a step-by-step document that will come up that will walk you or the students through step-by-step how to solve a problem similar to what they're doing in independent practice. We also have higher order thinking problems known as HOT problems. These are definitely higher level critical thinking. This is where your kids might need the help from you the most. And then this has a couple of things. So there's an audio button to where if you are looking at the ebook, you can click on the audio and portions of the book will be read to the student. At the top of a page, there are icons that go vertically or horizontally, and that will expand the ebook page to the height or to the width of the page. And it can zoom in and zoom out with the magnifying glass. There's also a table of contents page that would appear on the left-hand side. And if they click on that, they can again go to a chapter in a lesson. At the bottom of the page on the left-hand side, there's an audio icon, so you can turn the audio on or off. There are 2 panes that you see, and that just means I can view it in 2 pages, or I can click on it and view it in 1 page. The page at the bottom, there's page numbers where you can type in the page numbers that are needed instead of having to click the side arrows. And then there's also all of the icons that are offered as well at the bottom so that you can go to those at any time. Go ahead. Worksheets, these will normally be assigned by your teacher and they would appear in your assignments. But if you're needing some, you can also find them in those resources, and they would be pages that would reteach a concept. They might be extra practice, problem solving, skill practice pages, and there's even enrich opportunities to challenge your student if they are understanding the concept. Go ahead. Just a separate program that the math teachers will use is iExcel, and that's a standard-based school program, and it's a great way that teachers reinforce what was taught. It can extend learning and reteach learning. So if your child's maybe slightly behind in one area, we might assign iExcels to bring them up. If your child's excelling in an area, we can assign iExcels that meet their needs as well. And it's also a great way for prepping for assessments. Next. I think that was the last one, but I'm not sure.
Yes, that was the end there of that presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so we did have a couple of questions that came across. One was asking if this was all under the menu, the different tabs you were going over, Mrs. Ingebretson.
It can be found in multiple spaces. Yes, it's under menu. All of them can be found there, but it also can be found on the main page and or at the bottom of the textbook page.
Okay, perfect. And then there was another question asking if this presentation will be listed on the DCIS website. And my understanding is that all of the presentations will be listed tonight, or excuse me, on the DCIS website under resources. So any of these presentations all of them are being recorded and they'll be able to access there. And then another one was asking, how do you access iExcel?
So I actually did this with my class. We logged in under iExcel.com, and it asks you for a username and password. The username would be the student's first part of their Etiwanda Google account. So everything before the @ sign. And then it is already put in at Day Creek. And then their password would be the same password they use for their Google account.
Perfect. Okay. All right, were there any other questions regarding what Mrs. Ingebretson went over or Ms. Lairmont regarding Study Sync and ConnectEd?
I see one question. Are all students required to do IXL? This depends on teachers. So it's individualized for either different teams of teachers, so a math and a language arts team, or specific to students who may need that additional help or may need that extension, practicing their skills. But I know for my class right now, we have not done any IXL. So it is specific to the teachers, homeroom and switch teachers.
Okay, another question. Sorry. Another question was, can you repeat again where we found that tutor icon?
So on the page that's shown right now at the bottom part of the page, there is a purple kind of bubble looking chat bubble. That would be the tutor icon. And when you're on the main page in the math textbook, if you just hover over the icon, it'll tell you which one it is. But those are also going to be listed on the link that I will post.
Okay, there was another question that was asking, I believe it was in regard to IXL, but is it just for extra practice?
Again, like Ms. Lairmont said, that would be specific to the teacher.
Yes, some teachers I know use it as an additional piece to their skill lessons. So for example, when we're teaching main idea, we will use Study Sync for the main portion of the lesson. And then we can also bring in the IXL skills to practice it with actual texts instead of just the Study Sync lesson. So it really is specific to the teacher. I do know that a lot of us will use it in that way. And I don't think right now that we have IXL available through the Clever portal. I tried to take a look and I don't see it, but I know that we encourage our students, and this is goes also for Clever. Instead of having to select that homepage, you can also make it a bookmark on your web browser. And I know I have, when we have Chromebooks at school, I will encourage all of my students to bookmark IXL to make that access just one button, quick, you can log in there. And just IXL.com.
There was another question. It says, do teachers specify where each assignment is found or listed? I don't know. I think that was, go ahead, sorry.
So whenever we create our plans, we post them in Google Classroom, and we will say, speaking for ELA, if an assignment is found in Study Sync, that you will need to log into Study Sync to access it. If it's found in Google Classroom, then you will have it there in Google Classroom.
Okay.
There was a question for Mrs. Ingebretson. Can you repeat again where they would find the tutor icon?
I explained that was that at the bottom, you can find it at the bottom of your ebook page. There's a purple like chat bubble. That's one spot. If you're looking at the ebook itself, it might have it within the text. And then also if you're on the main page under resources, there are the large icons and you can find it there as well.
Okay.
Another question was, can you access Kahoots?
We use Kahoots sometimes. I know that we used actually one today with Ms. Burr when she came to class, but that's something that needs to be presented by the teacher. So it needs to be, the questions and the answers will be presented, and then students use either a different tab or a different device to select their answers. But Kahoots are not, as of right now, not available to students to use on their own. It has to be facilitated by the teacher.
Okay. Any other questions before we move forward? Okay.
Just before we start the next one, I just wanted to let you know I did post the math document link in the chat.
Okay, there is a question about Imagine Math.
Miss Kelly?
We don't have Imagine Math at the middle school level.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so again, my name is Ms. Burr. I'm the school counselor here at Day Creek. I'm going to go ahead and go over a few different topics tonight. I'm going to talk to you about the Aries Parent Portal. I'm just going to detail a little bit more about this. This is a mobile app that gives our students or our parents access to be able to check attendance, academics, contact information, and be able to see what assignments or activities or anything that are going on with the students have been processed or are in progress or maybe are missing. So this is a good way to communicate with classrooms and schools. Okay, so if you do not have the Aries Parent Portal at this time, you can download it. You can either take the time right now or you can do it after the presentation, and we'll be happy to help support you with that. It's available on Android as well as Apple. But it does give you all the information for families for grades, attendance, contact, demographic information. So any type of information regarding your student is accessible on the Aries Parent Portal. Okay, and again, it's real-time access, so it gives you detailed information of their grade book. As soon as the teacher publishes the grades, report cards, attendance, everything is available to you right there. It does correlate with your email that you've signed up with and any of the information for your emergency release card for Etiwanda and when you come in to register your student. So make sure that the email is connecting, otherwise it may kick you out. And you could contact the front office and they'll be able to help support you with that. So this is what the app looks like when you go to download it. Again, it's on Google Play as well as the App Store. Okay, so this is what it would look like when you would go to access it for your student. It'll give you the information right up here about your student. It'll give you information summarizing the class they're in, so it could be specific, so language arts, math, science, and it'll give you their grades, missing assignments, tests, quizzes. And then up here, if you look here, it gives you the student information more specifically, as well as attendance, test scores, grades, everything is in there. So you can also make it specific to, to notifications. So for example, you could say every Friday at 4 o'clock, I want to make sure that I get a notification of my child's up-to-date attendance, their grade book, their information. And you'll get weekly reports on your email to give you specific information about your child and how they're doing. And you can customize that, so it could be Monday, it could be Wednesday, it could be whatever is more specific for you. Okay, so again, here's just the information about parent notification preferences. So that actually can be accessed on a desktop to be able to make it specific to what you would like of, what day you want it at and what time. Okay, so the next one is the Remind app. You should have already had the Remind app because everyone is automatically added from the front office using your current phone number and email. So it's up to date. So you're getting those messages from your teachers, from Mr. Apodaca. I send out reminds at times too. So we have a short little video of how to join Remind in the event that you are a new user.
$8-10-10 is a free short code that U.S. participants can use to join a class on Remind. To join a class on Remind, participants text the class code to $8-10-10. This number is the same for everyone. As long as the class code matches the code in Remind, people will join the correct classes. If you are new to Remind, you'll be prompted to provide some information to connect to your account. Begin by texting a class code to 81010. You'll then be prompted to provide your full name and then your role, S for student, T for teacher, or P for parent. You'll receive a notification in a new thread that you've joined the class. You can then save the number to your phone with the class owner's name for easy reference. To leave the class, text @leave at any time in the class thread. You'll then get the option to also leave the school if you choose. That wraps up our video on 81010. Thanks for watching.
Oops. Sorry. Oops, let me go back. Okay, so the next portion is the Day Creek website. Wait. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Click on your Parent Tech Night 2020 tab.
Thank you. There we go. Okay, so this is the Day Creek website. So I'm going to go, it's hyperlinked here, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it right here and show you a little bit more of the information. So when I talk to you about where these videos and all the information from Tech Night tonight is going to be located, it's going to be located here under the resources page. So that information will be listed right here for you, as well as ConnectEd is here listed. Also on here is our staff website. So each of your teachers have a website. So for example, like 6th grade, we can click on here and you will see Miss Learmont, and then you'll see Mrs. Engebretson. So each of our teachers have a website that you can connect with right there. You can also look into more information about the library, look into Coyote Academy, mental health resources as well as listed on here. So that's more information if you had more questions or wanted to look into more things about that, that will be helpful as well. Okay. Okay, and the next one is Google Drive. So each student has access to a Google Suite with their Edawada account. And so with that, they're able to access Google Classroom, which each of them have with their teachers. They also have an email account. They have Google Calendar, they have Google Docs, and they have Google Translate. So they have quite a few resources that are available to them within the Google Drive system. So that's helpful. They can upload documents to their teacher and place more information there for their teacher and their assignments. So to give you an example, students use Google Classroom. So here's a quick example. We're going to walk through Google Classroom to give you an idea of what that is. Okay, so on Google Classroom, each student will be, they have a Google Classroom for each of their teachers. They have assignments that are going to be listed right here, and they have classwork listed right here as well. So all of their classwork as well as resources are listed right within the Google Classroom. They'll have information that gives them more about when upcoming assignments are coming and how to turn them in and if they need to be uploaded. And it'll also give them more information about if they have anything further they need to turn in.
Ms. Burke, can I interrupt for just 1 second?
Please.
On that image of Google Classroom there, I just wanted to share that some teachers have it set up differently. So if you've taken a look at some of your teachers' Google Classroom and it doesn't quite look like that, it may be because some of us have settings that are limiting what the stream looks like. So if you can see in this image, the first tab on the top says Stream, then it says Classwork, and then People. So some teachers, I know several of the 6th grade teachers, have it set to where assignments will only show up in the classwork tab. That's to just limit what your homepage stream looks like so that you can only see announcements. For just speaking to my own personal experience, I only post specific announcements to the day, such as our Zoom link, or if there are any like the library time. When that came up, as soon as it was available, I posted it to the stream. So if it looks a little bit different than your teacher or your student's Google Classroom, it could be some settings, but majority of that will remain the same.
Thank you, Ms. Lermont. I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yes, thank you.
Do we have any questions in the chat before I continue forward?
There was only one, but I answered it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and before we continue forward, we want to make sure that we talk to you about all of our social media. So we have a Twitter account. Make sure that you join the DCIS Coyotes, as well as our Instagram. So you can follow us, and we always have updates of lots of information going on about what's going on here at Day Creek. I think that is our last slide, and then we just have questions. Are there any questions about everything that was covered this evening?
I know everything seems overwhelming and the presentation seems to go rather quickly, so it's hard to keep up, even though we're not trying to zoom through it, for lack of better words. But please, since all recordings will be posted on the Day Creek website, please make sure if you have any questions, don't hesitate to review these presentations, as well as feel free to email myself or Mrs. Burr or anyone in the office, or call the office if you do have any questions or if any issues arise. We know with technology, sometimes it's wonderful and at other times it is our worst enemy. It just all depends on how the day is going. So please feel free to reach out to us.
Ms. Kelly, maybe you want to share that website that they can also look at for help with all of the technology, the Etiwanda Help website?
Okay.
I know you put it in the chat.
I put the email in there so they can email directly, but there is a actual website. I can't, Michelle, can you stop sharing your screen or go to the Etiwanda website?
I can go to the Etiwanda website if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
So
go ahead.
If you do have questions, there is a family resource page on the district website which can help walk through those. So if you go to the district website and you click on the families, hold on, let me move my little chat, and then you go to family resources. Gotta keep moving my chat. If you go down, it does have, it's like not quite at the middle, it's a little lower than the middle. It says how students can access online programs from home. So if you click on that link, that drop down, it will go through how to sync their school account to their home computer or to your home device so that they can have access to all of the Study Sync and math textbooks and all of those different things online. If you still have questions after that, you can call the school, or again, the the email for the district help, technology help, is helpdesk@etiwanda.org.
Okay, were there any more questions in the chat?
Yes.
I didn't see.
Can anyone check my kid's Study Sync account access? I'm not sure if you're asking us to see if he has access or if you're wondering if anybody can get into it. If it is anybody can get into it, no. The only person who has access is your son, because he has the password. We ask our students not to share their passwords with any of their friends. They can share it with obviously family members, but we ask them not to share that password with anyone, because if they do have that password, they can access all of the students' information. If it's for the account access to see if the student has access into it, that would have to be something that I could do at school tomorrow, but I can't check it right now because I don't have the usernames and passwords.
Okay, so can I send you an email so that you can help me check my kids' Study Sync account? Because she said to me she couldn't access it from home. I think might be set up issue or something.
Okay. Has she followed the logging into the Google account and syncing it to your home computer?
I think she follows, yeah, but I'm not sure why she couldn't.
Yeah, just send me an email and I'd be more than happy to help you. I'll put my email in the chat for you. And then there was another question that says, can you go back to Aries for the setup and activate the weekly notification?
Yes. So I saw that one. Okay. So let me move the little chat box. Okay. So once you go in, you go up here to the top. When you're on the desktop, you have to set up the notifications on a desktop, and you make sure that you're signed in on top, and then you click the little link right here and it drops down. And the first one is okay. So parent notification preferences are listed right there. And then right here, a box will pop up and you can check it, receive weekly progress emails, and then you can list out what day you would like during the week, as well as the preferred time. I hope that helps answer some questions.
So one other thing I would add is that you cannot do it from the app on your phone. You have to do it from an actual desktop. And when you receive those messages, if your student has a missing assignment, in order to determine what that missing assignment is, so you can say to your student, where is math page 347? You have to actually log into the actual desktop account, the full account. You cannot access the specific assignments from the app. It will just show you, and the reminder will just show you how many any, or if any, missing assignments they have. But you'd have to log into the full version to get the actual name of the assignment.
Were there any more questions about Aries or Remind, Google Classroom?
There was somebody that wanted to know more about iExcel, but I'm not sure exactly what part they are, what part they missed on iExcel.
I answered it privately.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, again, we appreciate everyone logging in tonight and taking this time out of your family time and your dinner time possibly to learn more about how to access your child's academics and make sure that they're successful. We will make sure that we post this in case anybody missed parts of it or if you want to go through it slower. I know for me, when I had to learn how to do Study Sync, I was a math teacher, so I wasn't familiar with the language arts by any means, and it was like a foreign language. It was very tough. So I spent numerous times where I was watching the presentations like a parent at our school in order for myself to learn how to access Study Sync. So we really appreciate you guys coming, and remember, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at the school. And we hope you guys all have a great night. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.